What's up, Luca Nation? Welcome back with another episode of the 10 for 10, our our segment, our series of shows where we bring on amazing guests from all walks of life who were at the National and they could share a little bit about their experience from National. We've had dealers, we've had businesses, we've had influencers, we've had people from all walks of life. And this is someone that I met at National that I've admired from afar. I love how this guy understands marketing, branding, understands kind of culture, if we could say it like that, culture like this. And he became a friend, and I'm looking forward to getting to know him a little bit better on this episode because, truthfully, I don't know a lot about him, but I know he is the talk of the town, and it's my man. It's Mike Vinokur from Pull Wax,
From
CEO,
Kiev, from
founder
Kiev,
From here.
from Kiev.
with Big Manny.
Exactly. That's it, man. Spasibo. There you go. He even says it for his drink. Listen, Mike, what's fun is we've had a bunch of folks on the 10 for 10, and my constant has been when we talk about the National, I've always said, hey, guys, you've been there for a while. The vintage guys have all been there for a while. The tables have all been there for a while. But I don't know if it's a new game in the casino or what the story is, but all the excitement at the National was around breaking. Anytime you heard somebody go, woo, yeah, oh, it was a big hit, or there's any kind of real excitement, real energy, it was coming out of somebody breaking something. So is it fair for me to say you're in the right part of the hobby right now?
I mean, I stay in both. I'm a collector as well. So I definitely break, and we do a lot of other things as well as far as pull wax goes, but I love collecting too. So I'm on both sides. Yes, the energy is for breaking. But the big collectors that might not be screaming like out loud or screaming inside their head.
It's true.
So there's fireworks everywhere. It's just, it's high stakes when it comes to dealing these big cards. So there's not, much banter or anything like that. But at the bar after, you'll probably hear some screams and shouts.
Exactly. So we'll get into pull wax. You'll tell us all about it. We'll get into the National. You'll tell us all about that too. I have a tendency to let the guests speak in these episodes because you guys are here. You're the star of the show. I'm just I'm the eye candy. But for this one here, I have to get into it because I got to spend some time with Mike. And it's so funny. It's got like Bagels and Mikey, all these personalities at Pull Wax. It's a lot of fun. They got a great team down there. But he gave me one of the more eye-opening hobby lessons, not just at the National, but maybe in my entire tenure at while collecting. And it's funny too because I'm never going to be able to do it, but maybe somebody listening will take the lesson. I'll never be able to take the lesson. I won't, and I think that part of it is the DNA, the blood pumping through a collector or somebody like that, right? So we were talking about a Michael Jordan, PSA 10 that had just sold 803 and change, blah, blah. I told him about an offer I got, and he immediately said, sell it. You want to tell everybody why you said sell it? This way I'm not putting words in your mouth?
Because of how much you paid for it.
Because of how much I paid for it. So it wasn't even hey, the card is bad, the card is good, the card is overpriced, you name it. It was math, right? Pure and simple, emotionless math.
I'm a numbers guy.
So walk us through for a second, right? Let's just say, hypothetically, somebody paid 110 for that card, and they got an offer of 4. Why do you say just sell it? I could say, I think it's going to go up. I love Michael Jordan, blah, blah, blah. Talk to me.
It obviously depends, right, on everybody's financial situation. Like, I'm not the one to tell, I'm just saying what I would do in my shoes, and you can make the argument for other people that have a lot more money and that's really doesn't really affect their daily lives or whatever it is, they can keep it because potentially the card could sell for more. I'm not saying that card can't sell for more. Not saying that. I'm just saying that that's how you keep the hobby going. That's how it keeps it moving. And, if you like the number, you take it to do other things with it. But
it's funny, man. You explain, he says, don't get emotionally attached. Don't be emotional about it. You look at it as math, right?
I have a couple Ben Roethlisberger cards that I'll never sell. But at the end of the day,
Well, we're going to do your personal collection in a second.
Yeah.
I left that. I was like, oh, man, am I doing this all wrong?
No, not at all. Not at all. We're both right.
I should take the 4X, and then you know what happened? One sold last week, and the people who were offering me 4 for it are now only offering me 3. So I'm like, God damn it, Mike was right. I should listen to this guy. Forget about the emotions. It'll be 4 next month or whatever it is. And I'm like, I leave it, and I say, you know what? How can this guy be so stoic? How could he be so math? How can it be so so binary, right? This
It's
hobby is
easy.
built
It's
so.
easy.
All right,
It's
don't dig
easy.
yourself too much of a hole.
It's just
easy.
you can't overthink it.
So tell me about your Victor Oladipo collection.
I lost a little bit, but I didn't even really lose. I didn't even really
Talk to
lose
me
yet.
about it. Come on, tell me the story.
Listen, it's like a parlay, right?
Yep.
It's like and at the end of the day, Oladipo was struggling in Indiana. I got Gus the win that he was coming to Miami. He came to Miami. He was playing well, and he dunked on I think AD and got hurt.
Yep.
And he's coming back this year, so whatever. I mean, Carson Wentz, I just got smoked also.
Damn, Carson Wentz.
But listen, I learned. You want? Oh my god.
Yeah, let's
We're gonna say this on the podcast. It's perfect.
Go.
So I learned something in cards. I always learn every day. I'm always learning. But I learned something that I could have made a lot of money on, and I simply didn't do my homework, and I messed up.
All right.
And this is what it's called. So anytime you buy a big card of somebody that, like especially in football, like for quarterbacks, I bought Carson Wentz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bought a lot of Carson Wentz, all of his high-end cards. Great purchases. Still not upset about the purchase because obviously in my head I knew there was a chance of him getting hurt, just like any other player.
Yep.
Jacob Eason was super cheap. It's like hedge. It's basically like handcuffing.
Handcuffing, fantasy. Yep. Get the backup.
Handcuff your investments in NFL. That's a great thing that you can do for essentially any team.
So you're saying, let's say you want to invest $1,000 into Wentz, invest 900 or 800 into Wentz, and take that other 100 or 200 to handcuff and buy the backup.
Correct. Yep. If it's a hype rookie like a James Morgan, the other back like Jacob Eason, there's certain backup quarterbacks that will have hype around them, like that actually play. So it's really not 1,000. Like if you spend a lot of money, like for example, I spent 30x that on Carson Wentz, if not more, probably a little bit more than that.
You're crazy, man.
Getting Eason is
30's nothing. You hear that machine in the background? He's printing cash.
No. It's like, you really have to believe in your investments. At the end of the day, you have to believe in what you like. And I do a lot of research behind my investments. It's not because it's everything, you put everything into account, the products, the pop report, the strength of schedule, because you have to predict these things. You want to be able to guess them before it happens. You don't want to buy NFL during week 1. You want to buy products off season and sell during season. So you want to see the wins and losses of the total team report, look at just what the public's betting on, just look at everything to see what teams you think are going to do well and then what players from those teams are going to do well. Look at fantasy projections. I was looking at all of it last night. I already got my guys that I'm looking for, and I'm a big fantasy player. I love fantasy football. So
just a pause for a second because we got to get into national, get into pull wax and all the other fun stuff. Great info there, guys.
Handcuff your big investments.
We're not even 10 minutes in. 1, try to focus on the numbers, right? Take a little bit of the emotion out of it. 2, you can handcuff your investments, right? If you're going to be doing a running back, get that backup running back. You were doing that in your draft football. You're going to draft the quarterback in the first round. Make sure, before you draft your kicker and your defense, grab that backup running back. You know what I mean? It's an easy fantasy. We talk about fantasy all the time as plays. But more importantly, he didn't say it. He went around it by telling you about box scores, about betting odds, about what the public's betting. But he does not happen on his wins by accident. This is not luck. It's not throwing darts at a wall. It is research. It is sweat equity. It is putting in the time to figure out what play to make with all of the information that's available out there, right? And this is all public information. He's not calling up the Miami Dolphins and saying, "Hey, how's Tua looking? Is he looking?"
You don't know. Overweight? And listen, I know a couple of people, and I can't confirm or deny that allegation. All I can say is there's a lot of public information out there.
All right, well, that's it. Follow Mikey. He's betting on Tua. Forget about it. And I mean, look,
Tua and Dak Prescott.
Tua and Dak Prescott. Nice. Well, I was huge on Dak last year.
Tua's total passing yards, the projection this year is 4,300. That's a lot of passing yards.
That's a lot of yards for him.
I was worried about him throwing a lot, and then I saw that total, and I was like, Vegas knows more than all of us.
Of course.
It's Way
I think
more.
they think he's going to be coming from behind and throwing the ball a lot. That's what it is. I mean, I won when fantasy first started.
Dolphins make the playoffs this year, guaranteed.
Oh, not Derek Carr. His brother David Carr won me a fantasy league. One of the worst quarterbacks ever. Oh, because he was on the Texans. He was on the Texans. They were terrible. But I happened to be in a fantasy league. Well, I might have been the beginning of Johnson, but I happened to be in a fantasy league where Yahoo Sports gave points for attempts, not just completions, attempts. So David Carr won me that league going away because he threw the ball like 100 times a game. I mean, it was just
Did you guys ever play Small World?
I don't think so.
It was,
I've been on it in Disney World.
It was it was just like it was fantasy football before it was head to head, and there was just a league. It was way before any DraftKings or any of it, and you had a certain amount of money that you can spend on players, and everybody had similar players, but different teams. It was like DraftKings, but it was nuts.
No, never did that. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I should bring that back. Sounds like a lot of fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
Go ahead. As much as you guys are nerding out about these like D-level celebrities, I don't even know who Ben Roethlisberger is. Is he good? Can he be good this year? I saw he lost a lot of weight.
All right, thank you guys.
Wait, now listen. Now you're getting into you got into problems here. That is his guy.
Well, that's what I want to ask. How does that become your guy?
In 2004, I was 11 years old. And this was probably the prime of my life because I was collecting D-Wade, LeBron, and Carmelo cards at the time. So it was that was the best era of sports in history. I mean, I was 11 years old, but basketball, they were actually playing basketball. Football, they were actually being able to play football. Like the everything has changed so much, you know. Like as far as
old head, this guy's like 25 years old. He's like, it's changed so much.
29, dude. I am an old head. I know how to use. I am an old soul. I'm not an old head. I'm an old soul. I love sports. I really do. Like a lot of people have a misconception because I'm good at business that people can think a lot of different things. But what I can say that a lot of people might not know is I'm an avid sports fan. I love sports cards. I eat, breathe, sleep, and live it. And it makes me happier than anything in the world. And anyone that wants to come and do a quiz with me or a test or anything, like we can do that. No problem.
But here you are, you're in beautiful Miami, Coral Gables University, pop quiz. How do you fall in love with the Steelers and Steel City and Ben Roethlisberger?
So when I was 11 years old, I had two of my best friends that I still am cool with. One was a diehard Falcons fan because of Michael Vick, and the other was a Raiders fan because of Randy Moss. So when we started really watching football as kids, I was a Dolphin fan. My dad told me to go to the Dolphins games. I would go to all the Dolphins games. And then I was watching Ben Roethlisberger in Miami of Ohio. And I've never seen, I was a kid, but I really watched sports. Like I really knew a lot about sports. And just I watched this guy and I've never seen anything like it. He was huge. He was running. He was passing. Like it just looked awesome. He got drafted by the Steelers. Tommy Maddox went down week 1. And I just really loved the Steelers, watched every game literally from that season. And they ended up making the AFC Championship and losing to Tom Brady, obviously. And then I was just watching all the games, and we were just watching all the games. We'd go to the ale house as kids. We still go there. Like whenever I'm in town, I go there with them and we just watched all the games. And then as I got older, I got a little more access and started going to Pittsburgh a lot and became really cool with Shazier. And, it's a close friend of mine. Was at his wedding, comes to kick it at the shop all the time. We opened up a box of cards like 2 years ago. I was at his house and I made him open up a box with me. Like before Pull Wax even got big.
Good dude. Tragic injury. Football's crazy.
It's nuts.
Where'd you grow up?
Miami.
So you got your parents fans of any specific team?
My dad's a diehard Dolphins fan. My mom doesn't love sports.
So how did the Steelers thing go over at home, right? How you like?
They made fun of me. I got everybody
can imagine.
Just I don't know when they'll ever learn. They may never learn.
I don't know. Has anyone told you this? I feel like they have. But you do this. People. We're 15 minutes in. People are listening. They're like, who's Mike Vinokur, right? Like he's a sports guy. He's probably great at daily fantasy. I'm going to get my sports betting picks from him. But that's like the tip of the iceberg. And I think you do this kind of intentionally, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's so much more to you, right? Like you really are an intelligent businessman. You're a very successful businessman. Talk to us about, well, why are you making that face, Cage? Talk to us a little bit about
Because I
your
don't know. You want me to
background.
leave? I mean, like I can give you some privacy if you like.
Well,
I feel more
I-
comfortable. Cage, for the record, I
like-
feel more comfortable with you here.
Well, I think
right,
it's
good.
interesting meeting different people from the hobby, and like, people come off in different ways. And like, if you met Mike for 1 second, you'd be like, oh, like he's just a sports guy, loves sports, and got into cards a year ago. But that's not the truth. So I want people to really get to know who this guy is. So I'm sorry, I'm not sorry for that. But like,
Dude, let it ride.
I want to get the Pull Wax origin story, and I want to hear a little bit about this guy's background, if that's okay.
That's amazing. I mean, again,
No,
my
we're gonna talk about something else. No, yeah, go
my,
ahead.
my parents are both Russian. I was born and raised in Miami. I've lived here my entire life. I graduated from high school. I was playing basketball in middle school. I loved basketball always as a kid. Realized that I could never get paid by playing basketball. Went to college, community college, didn't really take it too seriously. Couldn't really find what I wanted to do. And in 2015, I decided to, like, a friend of mine, my best friend, who liked the Raiders with Randy Moss, which at 11 years old, told me, hey, we got to open up a sneaker store. He knew nothing about sneakers. I knew nothing about sneakers. I didn't use social media like that at all. I was very low key. I am a very low key person as far as like my personal life. Like I never like talking, I just, as far as work goes, I whatever it takes. So, long story short, we opened up a sneaker store and that changed my life. It just got me learning all the lessons that I needed to learn about business, how to use social media, how to market, how to do business, how to pay your taxes, how to do accounting. Like it's a lot, it's a lot of stuff. And I learned all that throughout the entire duration of Sneak Peek. And Sneak Peek was a big store. We opened one in LA. We had 2 in Miami at one point. Like it was serious. It's still a very big store to this day. I was there yesterday and, it's just, I loved cards and I wanted to dive into cards. So I felt, we figured it out and I completely transferred everything over to Pull Wax and left it all on the table for Sneak Peek to prosper and be a great store. I just really wanted to start this.
Was it like right place, right time? Was it that, you were an entrepreneur always as a kid and this was just like the first concept that you really had to grow?
I mean, honestly, like I just feel like destiny will always play itself out as long as you give it your all every day and as long as you try really hard. Like God will always put you in the right position and you just have to do good by people and just wait your turn. Really, that's really what it was. Like, yes, right place, right time. Yes, lucky. Yes, a lot of things, but you just have to prepare. Preparation is everything, and I felt like that's what happened. Really, you just have to continue putting your head down and doing what you have to do, and then eventually people will recognize you. Like some people say, "Oh, you blew up overnight," or like, "Oh, whatever it is," and it's like, yeah, like whatever the narrative. Like what I've realized is we're living in a new day and age, and people are entitled to opinions, and every single person has one. So you just got to let it go, like just let it happen in the universe, and just stand by what you do, really. And that's how everything started. But like it started with a passion. It all started with a purpose. And if you have purpose and you prepare, that's I think that's the key.
I mean, Gary talked about this, Cage. I mean, you remember this when Gary was like in 2017, all the sneaker flippers, they're looking for inventory. Inventory when it comes to sneakers is hard to find. So they're going to start moving to cards. Talk to us a little bit about like the lessons you learned running Sneak Peek and then transferring that over to Pull Wax.
And I think I alluded to it like earlier. It's just like doing accounting, learning how to run a business, learning how to be a leader. I think that's the hardest part that everybody has the most difficulty with based off all the experience that I have. I consult for a lot of different businesses. I have tons of different friends. For me, I like creating and I like building an ecosystem. And I felt like I've built like a union in the hobby, at least, and more than just the hobby, just really just having a lot of people that you that are your role models or the people that you look up to, and eventually, they become your friends, and you just offer you treat everybody the same, but you also offer purpose. Like you want to be able to accommodate to everybody and you have to move with purpose. Like, and I can help a lot of different people and I can do a lot of different things, but I have to really figure out, everything has to have a lot of purpose, and you have to really think through a lot of things because there's a lot of people right now. And it depends on it depends on how the relationship is. You shouldn't have to spell things out for people. Like there's a lot of really special people in the hobby that, that I try to work with all the time. I wish I had more time to work with them, honestly, but obviously I have a business to run as well.
I think you've done a pretty good job running your team, man. Like I think, little Pullman. If you guys just do this, like go on Pull, Instagram, and in that little search bar, if you just search Pull and start typing wax, you'll see they have like 20 different pages. Pull Wax Kids, Little Pullman, Pull Wax Shop. I mean, I'm assuming that you're not managing all those pages, right? I think back to the leadership thing, you've built a community of people that want to help build this dream.
For sure. That you just have to, whole team eats is my slogan. Everybody there has to be structure, and everybody needs to play their position and just keep it going. Like we're blessed. You just have to know how to do business. That's all. We take care of everybody. We always want to make sure that everybody has a great time shopping with Pull Wax. We create a ton of pull packs, custom products that has a lot of value. Like $5,000 chasers, $7,000 chasers, like big cards in the packs. And we're doing a lot with Whatnot. Whatnot's doing a ton for the hobby. We're breaking on Whatnot probably 100 hours a week. Like I can't even imagine. We're just day and night, like on Whatnot, like all day, all night.
So talk about that, Mike. I want to put you on the spot, and I'm definitely not asking you to compare yourself.
Definitely not 100 hours a week, for sure, but a lot.
It may be. But so not talking down to anybody, but I happen to be taking out my garbage, and my 84-year-old neighbor, Millie, she says, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good. I'm just taking the garbage out." And she goes, "You know what? I'm starting up a braking company tomorrow." I said, "Millie, sometimes you don't even remember what your name is. You're going to start a braking company?" Point here being, of course, Mike, is that everybody's breaking. Even my 84-year-old Millie's breaks.
Text me the IG. We'll go live with her tomorrow.
You got it. Perfect. I don't think she knows how to spell IG. But so here's the fun, right? I'm not telling you to besmirch anybody, but what makes Pull Wax different, right? Like why should people? You can go on and break with anybody, right? You can go on and break all over the place. What does Pull Wax do? What's different? Obviously, you're on Whatnot. You're breaking, hours a day. You got your break packs. You have $5,000 cards in them. Talk to me about Pull Wax, the brand, and how it's different.
We have the best prices. We're the most entertaining. It's the most accessible. We're not only breaking. We have a ton of wholesale, and like the better your relationship is with us, the more you get in access. So there's a ton of things.
All right, let's fast forward. Let's have some fun because we're getting tactical. And I could tell with people like you, this guy has, you're 29, but I'm guessing 15, 16 years of like entrepreneurship, business experience. You don't have to even tell me the story of the motherland of like your dad being a businessman. I already have a feeling.
Taxi cabs.
There you go. Did he do well when Uber was created, or was he one of those guys like Uber's not going to do anything to my business?
Yeah, it was rough, but listen, it's all good.
It's all good, and you learn, right? Like my dad's business.
Learn from everything.
My dad has a cafe, and he probably wanted to get out of that business for a long time. COVID helped, so now he's figuring out his next step, and it hurts in the moment, but it really opens you up to have a bigger purpose in life.
100%. Every experience is a lesson, and it's just about, not making the same mistake twice. And it's hard. Listen, life is difficult. Life is short too, and you have to enjoy it. There has to be a balance. You can't only work. You have to have a balance for everything. But at the same time, when you want to start something big, it's going to require a lot of time. So
I messed up.
A balance.
I messed up so much in my 20s, man. I didn't know how to save money. I have a gambling gene to me. Like I love to gamble. I love parlays. I love sports betting. So in my early 20s, man, I made all the mistakes that I could have made. And why I started the show, and I got very fortunate to have a friend, a mentor like Cage, I wanted to help people avoid some of those mistakes, right? So like with our show, we always come on here every day to just try to, like I'm kind of speaking to my younger self. So I'm curious, man, let's say We make you CEO of the National. Going into next year, Atlantic City, different venue, different vibe. You know how AC works. What do you do? What do you think the National needs to kind of make it a little bit more modern or, I guess, contemporary? Same thing. But like, what would you do?
I mean, listen, obviously, like you definitely want to make the main stage a little more interactive. You know, there was not that much action like on the stage, and they run a great show. Like, it's a great show. Like, they couldn't market more because we couldn't fit more people in there. It was like there was no room for people. It's a good thing. Like there's going to be other shows with different flavors, but the National that's the National. Like that's what the National is. There was a lot of baseball tables, which is awesome because those baseball tables have been there for years. Like there's just going to be different shows with different things. As far as National, I would just like, hopefully for the main stage to be a little bit different, but it's great. The National was incredible. I loved it.
Anything that like left an impression? What I asked us we've had a ton of different people on, and we've been very fortunate. We had Ken kick us off. We have a few other guests lined up, but like we always ask this question: is there a breaker, a content creator, a business, anyone that stuck out that was like this person or this woman, man, is running things the right way? Anyone you want to shout out?
Bullpen LA for sure. I mean, when I got really into cards, like the first thing I did was like I bought a box from Steel City Collectibles, like while I was still at the sneaker store, and it was fun. Like I really enjoyed it. And then when I started doing research, I found Bullpen LA, and I just saw them breaking, and it was nuts. Like just seeing them break, and the prices were so good at the time. It was like 18, 19 Prism retail for $200 a box. Like people were just on there for hours and hours and hours, and that's that definitely was one of the things that opened my eyes for sure. And I always show my respects to them, and we've done a ton of business, and they're just great people.
You see this happen time and time again, but like people that make their money in sneakers, they're like, look at those stupid card guys, right? Sometimes that happens. You kind of hate the new thing. Sometimes you go and you become part of it, but some people are like, why would I ever do cards? Like, and we're seeing the same thing. Card people are very much either for or against NFTs. And Miami is becoming like the crypto capital of the world. There's no way to even sugarcoat that. Bitcoin companies are moving there. I mean, you guys have a mayor who people love and admire, and it's the crypto capital of the world. What do you make of NFTs? Because I think sports card people should understand NFTs better than anybody else. It's basically things.
Sports cards is one of the things that actually work with NFTs a lot that people don't realize. And that's what, there's obviously blockchain and different things that Panini's doing. But the thing with that is you can just, I think the most interesting part of NFTs with cards is how you can split the shares between the card, which like a lot of people, I think that's something that's very interesting. And there's so much opportunity and there's so much things. It's also crazy because the card market and the Bitcoin market correlate. Like a lot of the times when Bitcoin's up, cards are up. So it's interesting also.
Speaking of which, I mean, we're recording this and like Bitcoin's on a 7-day tear where basically up like 30-40%. Do you mess around with Bitcoin, crypto, NFTs?
So now I started doing a little bit more. Like I do some transactions with that stuff. I'm definitely trying to get more into it. I believe in it for sure. And there's a lot of cool areas to do stuff with NFTs around sports cards. We're working on some stuff now, but nothing in specific yet. We have a lot of plans and there's a lot of things that we're doing, but it just takes time to do everything.
I want to shift gears. I want to hear about what a day in the life of Mikey the Pull Man is like. Can you share? I know you're so like, dude, people don't realize this because I think you get this too. Like you're outgoing, you meet a lot of people, you work at a sneaker store, you're the host, you're everything, and you're very outgoing. But like as an entrepreneur, like you could be reserved, right? You could kind of be all in your head and need time to yourself. So I'm curious, like what's a day in the life of someone like you?
I mean, today I woke up at 7 a.m. I went to the gym. I got to the store I had breakfast. I got to take a couple meetings like in the morning. I got to the store around like 10:45. Was working all day, making pull packs, came on your podcast. later I'm gonna rip live on Whatnot, and then get ready for tomorrow. Like like Sunday. Sometimes you want to take time to yourself. There's plenty of different ways to relax, and just you have to be able to find balance. Like that's what I'm trying to work on now, is really just trying to have balance, because to get to where I got to, where Pull Wax, there was no balance.
So Mike, and that's a great segue into my question, right? I apologize for being a little quiet here. I try to put myself into the into the seat and the ears and the eyes of the person who's going to be watching this or listening to this podcast, right? And you bring a different story than most to this. We've had a bunch of folks come on. Now, you just started telling a story yourself, and you said, you went to high school, you thought you were going to play basketball, but you realized you were never going to grow past like 5'4", so you figured you're not going to make money 5'5", you're not going to make money playing basketball. And then you went to community college, and then you said, all right, a friend of mine said, let's open a sneaker store, right? So there are people out there who are listening to this and saying, all right, this guy got lucky. This guy got lucky. He got it at the right time. He got a right friend. He got in his sneakers at the right time. He did this.
He was financed by Ben Roethlisberger.
I could never do that, and then all of a sudden you go from community college, open a sneaker store, to hanging out with Ryan Shazier and Ben Roethlisberger is my dude, and blah blah blah. So we sometimes fast forward things a little bit. We hop in the DeLorean. And
listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm really bad at like telling all the stories of everything.
Well, I don't need the story.
I obviously missed out on a couple things. My first job was Payless. Payless was my first job was Payless at 15, and then I worked at Armani Exchange at 16, and then a bunch of other mid-ed jobs through that. And then what else? What else did I miss out? A bunch of other stuff.
My deal is what I like for folks to hear, because there are kids out there now. There are people who are in community college. There are people who are in college. There are people in high school. A lot of new blood into the hobby. A lot of new entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs.
Cage, we met a guy he's been in the hobby since February. The back of his shirt had 14 sponsors on. So these people have been in the hobby for like 6 months.
I talk about this kid all the time because, he's not getting paid by any of these sponsors, but he's hustling.
Can I work? Can he be on the Pull Wax team?
I'm sure, but he could. We'll give you some videotape and everything.
I need good people. If there's kids out here watching, there's a great opportunity to come work with Pull Wax.
And by the way, there's a good answer.
A lot.
But there's an answer. Look, here's an opportunity. All right. So if you're out there listening, Mike took advantage of an opportunity, right? He said, you know what? He has a friend who said sneakers. Let's do a sneaker store. Mike didn't know about sneakers. He worked in Payless, so he knew a little bit about sneakers. Bad ones, Shaqs, I think is what they were selling in Payless.
And stuff on Marbury's. Right? Well, when I was working there, Shaqs, yeah.
Shaq. So Shaq was a big seller at Payless when you worked at that, and Dexter's. So
yeah, Shaq's.
Yes, that's where my mom made me shop.
If Marbury was playing today during this card boom, his cards would be going nuts. I think. Just a theory.
Of course.
Stevie Francis.
Stevie franchise, baby.
Stevie franchise. The franchise. No,
Casino Mobley.
So you guys, let's take advantage of the opportunities, right? But what Mike's not telling you, he's being modest, is when he started that shoe store up, when he started up his business, he basically worked 28 hours a day, right? Because you're doing it for yourself. You're doing your own business. There are no shortcuts. There is no getting lucky. When you decide this is where I'm going to put my money, this is where I'm going to put my time, this is what I'm going to put my name on, you don't half-ass it. You take advantage of opportunities, and sure, things break right for you. But, Andrew, what do I always say about lucky? I say, oh, this guy got lucky. What does Andrew tell me?
What do you say about luck? I make my own luck. And you have that double, that coin that you flick in the air and has heads on both sides.
He makes his own luck. So if you work, if you're willing to work, if you're willing to sweat, if you're willing to not take no for an answer, you're willing to not take failure, you make your own luck. And that's what Mike is bringing to the table.
It's better to bet on yourself than the Mariners.
The Mariners. Poor Mariners.
You said, Cage, you said that they're building something special over there. They have a lot of good young talent.
They got a lot of good young talent, but the problem is...
You like Kyle Lewis?
I did. I like Kyle Lewis last year. It made me a lot of money. I was buying him for $1. I called Kyle Lewis Rookie of the Year, American League, week 1. No one even knew who Kyle Lewis was.
It was like our first week of episodes, right, Cage?
Yeah, I said he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Done. And he did. Think of all the other people in the American League that were favored. He was. I should have instead of buying dollar cards, I should have just put some money on him to win. I think it was like plus 4,000 at the time when we gave it. So a lot of fun. We picked the MVP. We picked some good stuff, Mike. So yeah, better to bet on yourself than the Mariners. I like that. We're gonna keep that one. So what else?
What's
Andrew, you got something about the show?
Well, I'm curious. Mike was saying Pull Wax is hiring. He's looking for good people. I mean, we've hired 4 or 5 content creators for our show over the last year and a half, and it's not easy finding good talent. So share with us. There's 1,000, 1,500 people listening to this daily. What are you guys looking for hiring?
For the store, I mean, there's a lot of different departments right now. I'm really trying to groom a couple breakers. With Pull Wax, we have the blueprint. Everything you don't need to have any prerequisites. You don't need to have business experience. You don't need to. The things you need to have with Pull Wax is you need to be loyal. You need to be willing to do whatever outside of your comfort zone, and you need to love sports. At the end of the day, in order to excel at this job, you need to have some sort of desire for sports, because it makes the job fun and interesting. And we talk about sports all day long, and it's cool. But for people that don't know, I've had experiences where it doesn't work as well. But I am looking for the following jobs that I'm looking for is breakers, shippers, like sleeving, sorting, shipping, content creators always, and other things as well. Like, we're always open to collaborations. I'm very good at figuring out what works, when I meet different people, and kind of just figuring out how my business has synergy with that person or that business or whatever it may be. Like, I'm very creative when it comes to business, and there's so much room for collaborations. Like, everybody should be collaborating. There's no reason for every business to not be collaborating.
How would a podcast like ours collaborate with Pull Wax?
We just did.
So you're saying more, because there's a decent amount of podcasts in the space. They should bring breakers on and then kind of do.
Everybody should just work with everyone for every reason. Get inventory, make moves happen, make friends. Like, it's good to have friends. Just, it's easier to be nice, and it helps you out.
Who's your best friend in the hobby that's not named Andrew and Cage?
Cage.
100%. I would have said the same thing. I would 100% have the same answer. Cage.
If I had to answer that question, I would have to answer it. I would have to change addresses.
He can't answer it. By the way, he can only answer who's his best friend in the hobby if you allow him to say 783 different names. Right? Because there'll be people knocking on his door. How do you not say me? How do you not say me? How do you not say me?
Yo, I thought I was your best friend.
Cannot do that.
But my best friend is Panini.
Your best friend is the dude who suggested a sneaker store, the Randy Moss kid, 11 years old, and everybody else can come in tied for second.
Jonathan Kababy. Wow.
That's it.
I was just at his house. Jonathan Kababy. What's the time clip on this? I need a time clip. Editor.
37:55.
Time clip that 37:55 for me, for Jonathan Kababy.
Jonathan Kababy. He's the star. That's the OG friend.
That's the OG.
I'm only picking him because I also.
We're gonna have a drink.
So
we're gonna have a drink,
Jonathan.
We're gonna have a drink in Fort Lauderdale. But John,
what's a good business partner is like it's like a significant other. So I'm curious, what's your guys' dynamic?
Who?
You and Jonathan Kababy.
Jonathan Kababy was my business partner in Sneak Peek.
For the sneakers.
Yeah, but what was the dynamic? Was he frontward facing customers in your operations? Reverse.
But we were just best friends, man. We were watching wrestling as kids and football and basketball and bet on everything and just did everything. You know what we used to do as kids? Me and Jonathan Kababy as kids used to get every Madden for whatever, Dreamcast, Xbox, PlayStation 2, whatever it may be. We used to put money on it. Like, we're 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. We put money, whatever it is, $50, $20, $100, whatever it may be. And we did a fantasy draft, and everybody had a team. So it was 3 people. And we did a fantasy draft, and we simulated all the games and watched them. We didn't play the video game. And we did that for years before
we actually sim games.
Betting on sim games.
Who came out ahead?
Jonathan Kababy always.
Jonathan Kababy always.
That's why he knew you got to go to business. He had the right idea, right? You know, he came to you one day. He goes, "Listen, we're gonna make a lot of money with shoehorn."
He's creative. Listen, he's a diehard football fan. Like once we get to the right point, you know, hopefully all he'll have to do every day is just go to football games.
That's it. That's what I tell Andrew. We're getting to a point here with this podcast so successful, he could just hang out in Mexico. You know, just stay in Mexico.
I think
hang
it's
out on the beach.
possible. Like you guys have a great dynamic, you know, and obviously a lot of people have been levitating towards you. You guys are chameleons. You can do a lot of different things, and I think that you're going to do great. I think the hobby needs more light, more positivity, more information, more value, more entertainment, and I think you guys know something.
Well, we don't know anything, but we're faking it. But here's the one thing we do know,
Thank
and
you.
I think you got it also, Mike. It's you treat your customers right, and it's a little different, right? You have a customer who's breaking wax. You got a customer who's buying cards from you. A customer who's making private deals. You got a customer who's getting sneakers before that, right? Our customer is our listener, right? And they don't pay us, right? They don't pay us in cash, but they pay us in their listens. They pay us in their, in their participation in the community that we built, Luca Nation. And that allows us to go and have people like you on. It allows us to build a platform that has Ken Golden, you, PSA, whoever else, sponsored by HGA, and go to trade night tomorrow at Bleecker. That's who we have to make sure we're always taking care of. Just
Should I
as you
take
said,
the
you gotta
flight? Should I take a flight tonight for
Take a
Bleecker
fight?
tomorrow?
You want to come to Bleecker?
I do.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest, right? I think you cast, even though, what'd you say, 5'5", 6'3"? How tall are you?
5'9"
5'9". Even at 5'9",
and a half.
I think the shadow you will cast over poor Bagels would be too much for him. Like, he's a big man at the show. You know, he comes to Bleecker, and he's like the big guy. But if you're there, it's like, all right, it's like Mikey, and there's Bagels over there in the corner. Like, you might.
All right.
I would
Listen,
love
Vadim,
to hang out with him.
he's the best, dude. He's such a good friend of mine. Like,
I
love
love
that
Vadim.
guy.
Could we talk about Vadim? What's cool about the hobby is, I mean, a lot of people got into it after COVID, and we just knew each other virtually, right? Like, I met Vadim through Mercari, which was crazy. And then we connected in Asian Cards Group, and then Vadim shows a Zion Silver 9 to Cage, and we connected dots.
Yeah, and I spent 7 hours with him in an airport.
Yeah, breaking.
Breaking.
That's seriously breaking. Were you guys not breaking?
Yeah, we did. We broke something. Select, I think. But God, you were going to ask
how did you
about
guys
the
meet? How did you
origin
and Vadim meet?
your sidekick?
He followed me through Sneak Peek, and we just met through cards. You know, he has a kid who loves cards, so his son is the best thing ever. Love that kid more than anything. And we just met. Like he's in the mix, dude. Vadim's a hustler. At the end of the day, he's a really good guy, and he's a hustler, and he's in the mix always.
This goes down in the
Everybody
category
knows
of
the bagel guy.
Mike knows how to make a collaboration with somebody else, right? So, you wouldn't think a bagel guy, but you know what? He's a hustler. Let me figure out a way to do this.
God gifted me with the talent that I know how to make everybody money if they just listen to me.
And yet I still have my
on
Jordan.
Carson Wentz cards.
No, but I'm gonna lose also. I don't win on everything, but I'm not. It just when you do me favors and we have a great relationship and it's just a great two-way street, like a lot of beautiful things happen. Everybody, you either get it or you don't. You can't teach it. And I'm very open to working with everybody. Just you have to know what proper business is and how to. What you have to do.
And this is
everybody can offer something. Everybody can help each other in so many different ways.
Yeah,
So there's a great
quote. Go ahead, Andrew.
A great quote that you reminded me of is, the purpose of life is to figure out your blessing, and then the meaning of life is to give it away. So like you just said, God graced me with the ability to make people money. When did you know that? Like when did you realize you had that talent?
Getting deep on you, Mike.
I mean, honestly, as a kid, but I really used it to my advantage later on.
Did you have good mentors, role models? Like, who is your business role model?
Myself, honestly. I mean, my dad obviously helped me. My dad is a great mentor and leader and helped me with everything, but I just figured it out through trial and error. and being curious and not taking no for an answer and not being scared to fail and falling 10 times and getting up 11.
That's the key.
And not listening to what everyone else says. If I listened to anybody ever, I would never be where I am today.
So, guys, he says you got to know
one ear and out the
business,
other.
right? Proper business, but he didn't go to business school, right? This is not a degree. This is not an MBA. It's failing 11 times. It's failing 10 times and getting up the 11th. It's listening to yourself, listening to the gut, right? Rather than what everybody else is saying, right? So to the folks who are out there listening to this saying, I'm going to give it a go. There's some real valuable stuff there, right?
But be positive when you give it a go. Don't already like you owed something. Everyone loves to complain. No one cares. I got paid like $8 an hour at Payless and had to take out the trash and clean the toilet.
And you learned the lesson.
And then I opened up a sneaker store because I was so pissed.
Hey, that works. That's right. I mean,
a lot of successful entrepreneurs kind of stem from like how much they hated working for the man. It's like I'm running away from that.
Dude, it's not only you're running away from it, you're building a fort that even when it tries to come back, it can't get in. Like you're never going back. Like it just listen, the American dream, man. This place is ridiculous. Like America as a country, like it is ridiculous. A lot of stuff that's happening now, but what it's like, you can do whatever you want. Like truthfully, like actually, if you prepare, manifest, understand what you want to do, it is very doable to achieve major things. But don't ask for the quick thing. All my relationships, every single thing, I haven't asked for one favor. I've probably done a couple. But I haven't asked for anything because I don't need, like, only when it's natural and organic. Like, I rather just be there, know the person. It's very valuable to know people and for people to be like, oh, you know that person? Like, oh, you know that? Oh, yeah, you trust that? You know, it's like, because a lot of people use relationships and take advantage of people. And the people that are very successful, they fear other people that they don't know. They're all normal. They all want friends. They all want to have a normal time. But you know, the biggest people are the ones that get taken advantage of. So it's just very valuable to play the long game because why do you need anything? Just be grateful that you're able to be a part of it, you know? And like also the biggest thing for all the people that are listening, the young kids, the people that are kind of stuck in the phase is don't worry about your childhood friends, you know, like really focus on like the people that you want to surround yourself with. You can always be friends with your friends, but you need to really like manifest what type of friends you want to be around and what you want to do. And I, to this day, haven't really like, I'm just starting to do that, you know, based off like all the things that I've done, but I already see the perks of them immediately.
Listen, forget about your childhood friends unless you have a Jonathan Kabotnik.
100%.
That's one you got to keep. So there's a fine line there. You know,
but even that, there's a fine line of, you know, like focusing on business and not hanging out and doing your thing and meeting him later and hanging out, you know?
That's it. There's the deal.
Jonathan Kababy. No, but it's true. Like I messaged Mikey and I was like, you know, before the show, I was like, anything that like our network, our community can do. And he said, nah, man, just to chat with you guys.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
There you go. Subscribe to both of our YouTube channels.
Yeah, and we can do a collab video and a giveaway.
That's it. There we go.
We can give away a contenders box.
Look at this. Look at this guy. There we go, Andrew. You posted up. We'll do the collaboration giveaway. Look at this guy. Look at the generosity of this guy. Such a generous dude.
I'm gonna open up a pack of cards just for the podcast. This is a select T-Mall 1920.
T-Mall, nice. So we're gonna get gold. We're gonna get a gold wave Zion rookie.
Courtside,
even better.
And then I'm gonna scream like in 2019 when I hit the select.
By the way, here we are, a guy who's talking about successful business, you name it. And the part that we have to remember, he's showing us right now. It's part of the reason it's successful is because he built something he was passionate about. Look at
is that a Pelicans on the back?
It is a Pelicans on the back. It is.
I already saw it. It's brutal.
It's brutal.
Jackson Hayes, let's go. Dude, he's good, man. He played for Texas.
This is why Andrew thinks he can't be a breaker, but he'd be a fantastic
from the University of Texas.
Look how excited he is about Jackson.
Dude, Jackson Hayes is good.
James
Or he has
Harden.
potential.
Isaiah Roby. Oh, we got a red
Ooh,
wave.
there's some red wave for the T-Mall. That's a biggie.
I don't even know what T-Mall means.
It's an Asian market. We want to see.
Celtics.
This is
What's going on right now? Grant Williams. Oh, that means Grant.
Rookie.
Yo, Jake. Does Zion follow Grant Williams in select?
By the way, I love this.
Sure?
Who
is it? What is it? Tremont Waters?
It's another Celtic. It's the great
Mom, the meatloaf.
great sorting.
Mom, get at the blow-up.
I don't know what she's doing back there. Tremont Waiters, Grant Williams, what are you doing back there? I don't know what she's doing. That's amazing.
Does that happen? Does that happen? Like if you open a pack and you get this player, you know the next pack has this guy in it?
Maybe.
Yes. Indeed, it does.
Is that like a secret or is that like I don't get it? I don't rip, dude.
No.
I'm a gambler. You got to understand. I don't rip. This stuff's scary. I rip
What do you like to
NFTs.
What do you like to gamble on?
Panini NFTs or Top Shots?
Bad weed. Whether or not it's gonna be laced when he buys it in Mexico.
I hate bad weed. Hate bad weed. Don't ever say that again.
You should buy a pull pack. It's a great gamble and it's a good gamble.
There we go. Leave it with that.
I just told you I don't gamble.
What do you like to gamble on?
I used to love betting sports, man. But here's the thing:
It's
I would build up a bankroll, and then go on tilt.
Yeah,
He gambles
'Cause
on
when
the
you-
ladies. The ladies. Oh yeah.
I thought we were.
Más o menos.
I thought we were live earlier, like when we started it. When you asked me that,
No.
Probably should have been alive, to be honest.
Goldberg was being funny.
Yeah. Well, listen, it is what it is. He tries to be funny.
No,
Tries
he's
is the
actually.
important thing.
He's
got a
funny.
different type of humor.
Yo, you guys need to subscribe to this channel. These guys don't get paid off this. They take their time to give you guys entertainment and value, and they have other things going on. So just appreciate what they do and tell your friends to subscribe because we need to get a brand deal.
Oh yeah, brand deal. I love it. That's great. Are you opening another pack for us?
I hate
You
that
don't have
box.
to. You don't have to open.
No, I want to. I want to.
But while you're opening that pack, what I want you to do, you said Andrew should gamble on one of your packs. Just before we let you go, because we have our audience.
I can grab a random pull pack. Like, dude, I'm on my computer.
Talk about what that is. Talk about what the pull pack is.
Okay. So you
Is
see
that the
these-
store?
Yeah.
Is that stacks of Benjis on the floor? So you're right.
That's pull packs.
Okay.
Those are pull packs.
So like I'm gonna grab a random one. Random pull pack.
How much is that box?
So the way this works is, hold on, let me just grab all the good stuff. So there's 100
Consummate salesperson.
There's 100 pull packs, right? There's 100 pull packs, and we run them on the Whatnot app. The highest bidder.
I'll take that for $200.
Whoever buys the pull pack for the most amount of money, whoever is the highest bidder, gets this card. Out of 100 packs, they all start at $1. But guess what? It gets better. Second place, whoever has the second highest bid, gets the Herbert helmet.
Herbie.
And third is a Giannis autographed jersey. Okay.
Ooh.
Now that card could be kind of expensive because there's no comps on it. And everyone that I ask say it's worth $10K.
Giannis didn't sign long form autos for a long time.
Giannis Spectra RPA at a 60 rookie BGS 9.5. But this is a random pull pack. The ceiling of these packs, aside from those cards, is 4,500. There's a bunch of sealed wax. There's a bunch of sealed wax. There's a case. There's a sealed case in these packs. One. And there's a bunch of other stuff. So let's see one pull pack right here.
It's got to be T206. It's got to be tiny to fit in there. Okay.
Zion to 99.
Look at this.
Zion to 99. Zion Prism PSA 9. and Zion Mosaic PSA 9. The Zion numbered was nice. But there's winners and there's losers. But generally you're gonna have a couple people that win big. That's how you want to do it. Like people might win or lose a couple $100, but there's gonna be some massive winners.
There you go. Nobody gets too hurt, and a couple people who are gonna get really, really happy.
And the thing is with boxes, when you open up boxes, like when it's nothing, even if the box is $5K, $3K, $2K, you get $50 back. Here you don't have to spend nearly as much. And if you buy multiple packs, you won't lose.
There you go. I like it. Repacks. You got
Should we do one? Should we do one live on the air?
But you can't. I have to make the set. I have to finish. I'm finishing, and then I'm going live on Whatnot this evening.
Sweet. Enjoy.
I'm coming out of retirement. I went into retirement. Everybody's like, "Yo, what's going on?" I had to take care of some stuff, but I'm coming out of retirement. I'll be breaking cards all week.
That's it.
So
coming out.
One last question. This is kind of selfish for us because we're at this stage, and maybe you'll help us. But before that, subscribe to Pull Wax YouTube channel. If people are flying to Miami or coming through Miami, stop by the store. Where's it at?
1950 Northeast 163rd Street, North Miami Beach, Florida, 33162 PULLWAX.
What's it near? Is it near the Gucci store, the Fendi store? What's near you?
The beach.
Near the beach and a couple of bakeries and a massage parlor.
Nice. Cage has never gotten a massage, ever.
Cage needs to continue doing what he's doing because obviously it works.
All right. Well, all of these. So there's a lot of content creators. You saw them at the National, right? They're being approached by brands. They're being approached by different businesses to do brand deals. You've done brand deals countless times.
Correct.
Can you give a business 101, a University of Miami 301 course, real quick, cliff notes on putting together a good brand deal in the favor of the influencer?
So you're putting someone that didn't graduate college and a professor
you're now teaching
from UM?
Yep.
Teaching UM right now?
That's my dream, actually, because the professors are theorists. I would actually say the professors have never done a brand deal, so how could they teach about a brand deal?
So what are you saying? Can you be my manager?
I think
you would be a good manager.
Yeah.
You want to take a pay cut and go teach at the U?
E from
you want to take a pay cut and be a professor at the U? No, you don't. He's getting you a pay cut.
I don't even need him to make me money as much as I want him to put me in that, once a week. I love teaching. I really do. I think that's what I enjoy more than anything. Motivating, teaching, especially the youth. I don't know how, but long story short, business 101, know your worth, right? Know your worth, know what you're building, right? What is your purpose? What do you influence? Why do you post content? What are your plans? Execute what you want to do, and then the brand deals will come. People make Instagrams to get brand deals. You can't. If you are who you say you are, then be that. You have to have a plan and prepare and do stuff. That's not even 101. That's A through Z. I just gave you the whole game. Don't fake it. Make it. What do you want to do? What are you? What do you do? What kind of content do you create? What kind of schedule do you create the content? What community do you give? What do you give? Why should someone follow you? What incentives are you giving your group? What community are you building?
How's the conference or how's the show in Miami? Epic? The card show?
There was one courtside card show. I'm working on something right now. I'm excited about it.
I hear the nightlife in Miami is like nowhere else in the country. Is that true?
I don't know if it's true or not, but text me and I'll show you.
I love it.
Every single episode of these 10 for 10.
Of course, man. Of course.
Have been completely different. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I enjoyed it too. It was very good. I think I try to give as much info as possible. I know I went on a couple tangents, but I was giving it my all, man. I owed it to you.
Cage is at the edge of his seat.
Coming out of retirement.
I'm coming out of retirement. I miss breaking, dude. I miss breaking, and it's
it's a lot. You know, you think you do one thing and then it's the next thing. We're constantly transitioning, constantly growing. Just get 1% better every day.
Get a job you love, do what you love, and never work a day in your life. Walt Disney. There you go, my friend. You're doing what you love. Can't retire.
Shout out to Jonathan Kababy. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.